That was in 2002. And there was a need, a drive, that something must be birthed in Uganda ministry. So over there I called Pastor Alex that what God is speaking to me to go and what? And start a ministry.
I came to interact with a very good friend of mine who is our senior pastor now, Pastor Clement Warujo, by way of working together. I remember when we joined URA together with him in 1995. And when we joined, we used to pray together from the same church, and that was called Kampala Pentecostal Church, which is our total church. Then from there, because we were both very vibrant, born-again Christians, that's how we knew each other. Then after about 2 years of working together, but within that time we started a URA Christian Fellowship, and that's where our journey actually is birthed from. He was the chairman of that fellowship to show that he has a calling. He had a calling upon his heart. He was passionate about the things of God from that time. So he was the chairman of the fellowship and I was the secretary. So that's how we became close. Then after 2 years, he traveled back to the US because he had actually come from the US. So he traveled back to the US to continue pursuing his studies. And he was doing his pastoral studies. And then from that time, we kept in touch with him. Then is when he shared with me that God gave him a calling to start a ministry.
But I was remembering the words Bart Chiria shared for me that night. That God is calling you into ministry. And those words kept coming almost every 30 minutes when he was speaking that night, when he was praying. So, when I came back, I shared with Pastor Alex and a few people, and they said we are beginning a ministry. And that's when we burst Kampala Praise and Worship Center from Shimon.
Time I joined the Divine Worship Center, that was 2007, I remember. Actually, I was hosted as a guest preacher, first time. They invited me to come and preach at Divine Worship Center. So I preached the Word of God and I loved the church. And after the service, I had a good interaction with the leadership of Divine Worship Center.
This challenge, the mission was first was when we were chased from Shimon and they had nowhere to go. We thought we are done. We thought the mission is what? Done. Because we had no resources to start anywhere, to go anywhere. But the voice said, take the church where? To Kireka, on the land you bought. So that one, how coming to Kireka? Make sure that we had a home. We had a home. In spite of the challenge of the what? Of the structure. So, there the other challenge, of course, is financial problems. Beginning ministry is not easy. Beginning ministry is not easy. Wow, in some well-organized families, when one of the family members begins a ministry, all family members what? Come and support. Those who are working, those who are in business, they come and support. Unfortunately for me, when my family members realized that we came to Kireka and had no building and nothing, money, no income, they all went away and left me alone. The few people who stood over there with Pastor Alex.
The biggest challenge we faced as a ministry was, first of all, our having a place of worship, and then being able to get men and women who stand with us in service. As I told you, we were renting a place, and you can imagine we had to ferry instruments and load them in the car and then go home with them. Then the following Sunday again come with them. Then what again became a big challenge is that after about a year or so, the headmaster was transferred. Then we got a new headmaster. Now that new headmaster had a different idea altogether. So he sort of requested us to leave the classroom, and he just gave us an open shade, a shelter, where pupils and students would hang around. So that's where we started fellowshipping from. And I tell you, there was a time it was raining and it was so bad we could not have service, and we had to just simply close the service because it was rainy and windy. But we thank God we had friends who helped us. But also we had a challenge in terms of getting people to serve in the ministry. At one time, Pastor had to travel back to the US, and then he left me alone. But the good thing at that time that his wife came and joined us in the ministry. So we had to, was a time when I was a driver. I used to go and pick people, then I used to come back. I used to lead the service, then I used to also be the preacher. So it was very tough. So when again, Pastor, well, I told you when we had this challenge with this man sending us away, Pastor Clement had already bought some land, which was supposed to be his house in Kasokoso, which is now where the church is. And we were lucky we had friends who were able to support us. So we had to leave. So the biggest challenge was where to fellowship from. And then we had to shift to Chireka. When we shifted there, we had a place, the walls were there, the roof was there, there were no windows, there were no chairs. We started hiring chairs even for the ministry. The windows were not there, so we just simply have fellowship and church just in a building, in a wall and a roof. It was a very big challenge, but also getting in touch with the community, getting to know how to combine and fit within the community. It was a bit of a challenge. The resources also, of course, were not enough, so it was quite a tough call. How to balance all those things, how to get chairs, how to hire them. We used to hire chairs for the ministry, so it was quite a very big challenge.
Shared that night with what Bart shared that night. He said God is calling to ministry to raise up God's people. Raise up God's people from every tribe, from every language, from every nationality, to worship Him in the Spirit and in the truth. One of the greatest miracles is this building, because when this building was started, construction started, it was amazing. It went non-stop. It went non-stop until we had a place where we could be able to meet. That was wonderful.
We have seen God bring different people in our lives. We started small, from nowhere, but you can see where we are, and we've got confidence that God is taking us high. One time God gave me a vision. We didn't know that we would have so many other churches and branches outside our main worship place in Kampala. Churches have come up now in Kamwenge. Churches have come up in Butevo. Churches have come up in different places. In Nanzala we have churches. In Budaka we have churches. Already we are grateful. One of our pastors has already become an international preacher. Has been going up. Pastor Chris, God has used him greatly. He travels. He has already been reaching out, and we've established connection and network. So we are seeing ourselves growing and being a bigger ministry than we are, touching people's lives, not only within Uganda, but within the region and beyond the region.
My time at Divine Worship Center has really, I want to say, it has shaped me up, because though I'm also a preacher at Divine Worship Center, but also I receive messages from other people, different preachers who speak in my life. Actually, I want to say I've been elevated spiritually. I have been encouraged, and I have been inspired a lot in my life. And my ministry, I want to say, it has not remained the same. As I speak now, right now, I've even got powerful international connections. And I want to say it's because of Divine Worship Center as my permanent address. I want to say my permanent address because I'm not ready to leave now until the Lord directs me. So that's where I'm based from. Because of that alone, it has improved my profile wherever I go. I have a home. Wherever I go, I have an address to tell people where I'm coming from. So I want to say it has really improved my ministry status, and it has also made me get divine connections with international ministers of the gospel, and which has opened doors in a way that every year I travel out of this country to go and preach the gospel. It's now like 6 years, and the Lord has been faithful.
God has blessed the ministry because when we had equipments, we had the church building. Now we had many people come join us. They say the numbers don't mean money in the ministry. You can have the numbers and you're not struggling financially, big time. So we reached a point of having even 400 members in the church. But that one also increased our responsibilities and the more needs. As the needs grew up and the financial income is not very good, we started now having more challenges instead. Out of that one, also we have some younger people who started ministries. I remember we have younger men who have moved on, and their sons and daughters of this ministry. But before that, we had started the church in the Budaka district. In the Budaka district. And that's where, in my village where I was born. And that the church is called the Divine Worship Center Ministries, Budaka. In that church, also we have started a school in the same place. So the school was a very good blessing to the community. Many children have gone through there. Among them is one of the pioneers, Moses Mubiru, my nephew, who is now a lieutenant in the army and is also a clinical officer. More churches have been passed. There's one in Utaleja, Divine Worship Center Utaleja. There's one in Utebo, Divine Worship Center Utebo. Over here, there's a younger man who joined us and he went to Kamwenge and started Divine Worship Center Kamwenge. So we had also some other people who started independent ministries, like Brother Deus, who is now in Nama Wojolo, who has a church over there. We have another younger man who moved on and is called Kasule, has also started a church in the Kasangat, or after Kasangat towards the direction. Whom I encouraged so much in the early days to go and start a church in this home area. And then finally, he responded, and now they have a very, very good ministry over there. So, Divine Worship has moved on, has really touched lives in many ways. The church in Divine Worship in Nanzara has done quite a lot. That place, there are a lot of alcoholics. Now the whole village is, you wonder what has happened to that village, but because of Divine Worship Center Ministries. Over here, in the Chireka, we have done a tremendous work. In the Kasokosodea, we have so many members. Some who have helped out to come out of bondages. We produce. We help them to start businesses in some of them. So that they have done. It's a ministry which has grown and has been a blessing to many people. Yeah. We have a ministry to move from door to door when we are preaching, reaching out to the people. People know Jesus. That is very critical. And remember, we are the first pioneer. We are the pioneers in this place. I should not miss to mention that before we came to Chireka, over in Chireka here, there was a prayer of almost 30 years going on in Chireka to have a church, in particular this area, in this community. Because when we came to start the ministry, especially in Chireka, we joined up with a number of senior people in this Chireka. Among them, Zain Tante, who has been with us ever since then. Mama Navabi, who was in Kasokos over there. Mzee Muhammad, they all joined us. Elder Mama Awaz, call them Awaz or Awaz, they joined us. Elder Tavulia, the family who have moved on, they have retired and now have gone to the village, but they left the entire family of children are with us. They all joined us when we moved to Chireka. So quite a lot of families joined us, and they saw our work, and they were very interested to be part of what? Of Divine Whatever Ministries. Even as over there we started the sales, and the sales were touching lives of people, winning souls to the kingdom. If we go back up from Shimon, we had quite a good time up in Shimon. I was Pastor Alex has always been I've been with him when we worked mates in the URA. Was there, and he joined of course with his family, his wife. My wife was also there. Irene was part of that. We had Isaac Masava was part of that. Of course, we had the Moses Kasacha. They joined us on that when we're opening. We had there's one called the Julius Mutema. William Mutema, my brother who works with me now. He works in the Mubende. I had my sister Topi, who lives in Mukono. They were all there. We had the family and many friends and the extended families in this ministry. Yes, and of course, over in Shimon, we had a lot of students from Shimon. There are some particular names who are now also serving God today. I know one called Rachel. She was a teacher, a primary school teacher. She was serving God. A number of people I could be able to remember some other names. There was this particular family that invited me to go and attend their church. When I went to that church, there was an old couple they were retired, and they've been pastoring a church in the Philippines. Now, the lady who was the lady of it's a couple, the pastor's lady or wife, she came to me after the service and asked me many questions. One of the questions she asked me was that, "Are you from Uganda?" And I said, "Yes." I said, "Are you here looking for money to build a church?" And I said, "I am here looking for money to buy a tent, not a church." But I'm really here looking for help. And she said that God has shown me that I'm a pastor from Uganda, that I'm looking for money to build a church, and that my need is met. That's what the lady said. Her name was called Betty. And I said, wow. She said that, where are you staying? She asked me. I gave all the details. And he said, I want us to go for lunch with my husband. We are retired pastors from Filipino, and we are now back in USA. So we shall want to see how can we relate with you. So they took me for lunch after the service, and in the evening, their grandson was going to play American football. He was one of the top guys in their school. So they were playing against another school in the town called Jinx. They picked me in the evening and took me for what? For that football match. It was wonderful. Now over there, a certain tall man came, and when the lady who knew me very well, by then we were reached now to know each other, she told me that was the father of my son-in-law. And he introduced him to me as Bill Brewer, and says that was the father of my son-in-law. So he had also come to watch his grandson play soccer. Football. So when Bill was introduced to me, Bill started looking at me with an inquisitive eye. He said, "You're from Uganda?" I said, "Yes." "What do you do in Uganda?" I said, "I'm a pastor." He said, "Okay. Where is your church? Are you near Watoto?" "You know Watoto?" I said, "Yeah, I know Watoto." I said, "Watoto is Watoto children. They are near them?" I said, "Yes, they're in Kampala, and we're not very far from them." He said, "I support Watoto children." I said, "Oh, that's good." So we interacted quite great that evening, had things to eat. Then in the following morning, he called me. He wanted to meet me. And he said, "I want to learn more because I've been wanting to come to Uganda. I wanted to know Uganda because I support Watoto children. I wanted to know my children, how they are doing, and also see the country." And I said, "Very good, but I didn't have any way to come to Uganda because Watoto children move all over the place." And I said, "You are welcome. I will be what? I can be able to host you." He said, "Really? You can host me?" I said, "Yes." "Where will you put me up?" I said, "In my house." "In my house." By then I was staying in Muyenga. I was renting in Muyenga. And I said, "I have a very good house. You will like it." He said, "Really?" I said, "Yes." "I have security?" I said, "Yes." "It's in a fence." "You said in a fence?" I said, "Yes." So he liked me and we started relating. So from there, to cut the whole story short, Bill came to Uganda. But my mission to get a tent, I never got enough money for what? For a tent. So I came back a bit disappointed because what? I didn't get enough money to buy a big tent. We still stayed in the same place, but Bill took about 1 month and he also came, followed me. So when he came, he said, I took him, he came where we are at, because I took him to my house, he stayed with me, and he liked the place, and of course we had a car, I would drive him around wherever he wanted, and then we went over here, we came here for prayer, and he saw where we are at, and he was really touched. So when he went back, he said, "I am supporting your ministry. I want you to build a church building." And that's how we funded the building of this church, or the construction of this church building.
Divine Worship Center as a ministry, it means a lot to me. kubanga ye kanisa mwe nalokokera. Nze nalokoka 2009. Nalokoka 2009.
Nabeegattako omwaka gwa 2008 omwezi gwali gwa 9.
Bwe nayingira Divine Worship Center okuyaayaana kwange kwali nti ntegeera okwagala kwa Katonda. Ekyo ne kinnyamba nga ndi mu Divine Worship Center okwekwata n'abakyala abaali basobola okuyimirira ne basaba, okwekwata n'abasumba bange nga kyenfa nywezebwe mu Kristo. So Divine Worship Center nyambye nti mwe nasanga abakyala basobola okuyimirira nange ne tusaba, mwe nasanga abasumba abali welcoming ne bannyaniriza, nensobola okutula wansi w'ebigere byabwe.
Divine Worship Center number 1 ene kanisa gye naliise erimu okwagala, family erina love, ate iyi family efaayo, so etwagaliza nnyo okubanga tuweereza Katonda.
Bwe nabanga nsanze obuzibu ne mbayitiramu ne bansabirako. So Divine Worship Center has impacted my life in that way.
Byensobola okujjukira bingi. Number 1, ebiseera bwe najja yenyongira mu kanisa muno, najja mu kanisa muno nga ndi bwomu, nga sirina mubeezi, nga ndi single man. Bwentyo Mukama nannungamya nefuna omukyala gwe nnina. Omukyala gwe nnina oyo namufuna because of obuweereza. Singa nali senyigidde mu buweereza sandimufunye.
Ye neebaliza Katonda bingi. I can't list them. Nga bwe nkugambye nti nayingira Divine Worship Center nga ndiko a lot of bondage. Nayingira Divine Worship Center nga ndiko eddogo, nga baloze nze mu maaso n'emabega. Naye neebaza Katonda nti bwe nayingira Divine Worship Center ne ntegeera Katonda kyanjagaza okukola, n'enfuba okutambula nga Katonda bw'ayagala. Ndabye Katonda nga nsumululako kimu ku kimu, kimu ku kimu. Obulamu bwange bukyuse mu bintu bingi nnyo. Nze nalokoka nga sisobola kusaba, ng'omumwa gwange gulinganga oguliko omuntu eyagukwata, nga sisobola kusaba, nga n'okusoma Bayibuli kizibu. Naye right now nsobola okuyimirira n'ensaba, n'empulira ng'essaala efulowinga. Nsobola okutuula n'ensoma Bayibuli. Ndabye ng'obusibe obwandiko Katonda ze ajjawe ekintu kimu ku kimu. Eddogo
Mukama tankoze bubi, emirimu gize girabika, ne bamembaza abamu ab'ekkanisa bazze bankwatako, baba n'emirimu ne bampita n'enkola. So ekyamazima bingi byensobola okwogera nti singa si divine kino kyendi, singa si kiri nti buli gye ngenda abantu banjagala ate banneegomba ekindiko, naye kyonna ekindiko nakifuna ku divine wano. Bino byonna byenkola okuyimba, okuweereza, okukola programming. Kyamazima divine singa si yo, singa n'abantu ndoza tebanneetaaga.
This homecoming is so critical for us because it helps us now to remember where we came from. It helps us to reconnect with people who were with us and we have moved on. People who have been a blessing to this ministry. People who saw us in my early days and have testimonies of what God has done. People who believed in us. Even when we could not even show anything that we wanted to be believed in, and now we are still here because I'm a man of a man who started a degree in finance or business. He said if a business can stay for more than 5 years, then that business is doing a great job because most business close within 5 years. But the people that were here since 2005, we have been here. That means we have withered on and stood the test of time, that we are not closing. So God is with us.
Homecoming is a great event for any church to really make. To me, homecoming means to gather all the members who used or were fellowshipping with Divine Worship Center, those who went away because of maybe employment, maybe change of location, Those who went away, maybe they want to go and begin ministries. Those who maybe were far away, but they are part of Divine Worship Center. To me, I mean, it is a time of fellowship, a time of encouraging one another. It's a time of getting to know who belongs to the family of Divine Worship Center. And also the major meaning of homecoming is to see what the Lord has done and how far the Lord has brought us up there, and also to give us the picture of how the family of Divine Worship Center has grown in this country, Uganda.
But particularly, we are soon having our homecoming event on the 30th of November. So my appeal is that let us join hands together, let us support this journey so that we can actually welcome all our friends, our brothers and sisters who once fellowship with us and they're now in different churches, and some of them have started ministry. Can you imagine? There are people who got saved and born again in Divine Worship Center and have gone on to grow and set up their own ministries. Others are in Dar es Salaam, others in different parts of Kampala.
Divine Worship Ministry is really reaching to a new level right now. There's one of the greatest miracles which I had missed to mention was the donation of the land behind the church by one of our good friends, my very good friend, Major Cyrus Kambalage. So we want to now establish a Bible Institute to help the younger generations, the youth, to gain skills so they can be productive. We have so many youths who are, when you go all over the place, in Kireka here, Kasoko there, they are smoking, they are redundant, seated, doing nothing, and they are educated. Some of them even have gone as far as university. They have no jobs, but with skills, we can transform these youth into being very productive people. The future for the ministry also is, we want, as you hear, that we have Divine Worship Center Butareja, we have Divine Worship Center Budaka, we have Divine Worship Center Butebo, we have Divine Worship Center Kamwenge, we want a Divine Worship Center every district of Uganda. And all these Divine Worship Ministries are forming what they call Bivo or Divine Circles. All of them. This is a saving group of the members of the church. All of them so they can learn to save. When they save they save every year, we're going to form what they call a Divine Cooperative Society. That all these groups will be joined and form a cooperative society. And I promise you, the future of Divine Cooperative Society is going to be wonderful. Divine Worship Ministries and all of yours, it's my heart to say that when the God who called us said we are a chosen generation, the God who called us into His kingdom has ways the way He does His own things. And He only calls us to believe, have faith. Because people have built cities because of faith in God. People have changed the communities because of faith in God. What we have achieved as of today, not God will have the capacity to do it, but we just believe God. And God, we have seen Him work. So, have no waver at all in whatsoever you ask God to do. Believe that it is done.